Hello and welcome back to the Lee Summit Town Hall podcast. I'm your host, Nick Parker. This is a good reminder to everyone that this podcast is brought to the good people by Budget Blinds of Lee Summit, a great local company run by a great local family. Quick reminder that our partnership with Budget Blinds includes the annual Story Time with Santa event. That's coming up Wednesday night, Wednesday, December 3rd. It's Story Time with Santa, 5:30 to 7 at Budget Blinds in downtown Lee Summit, right off Main Street. It's the best chance you've got for free photos with Santa. You can hear Santa read some of his favorite Christmas stories, and we are, just always there. It's a great local event. We love it. From Budget Blinds, your home for signature series shades. Head on down. Tell them Nick sent you. Here's another good thing that's happening. I like this. I get to partner with people all the time with Link Lee Summit. But with me today, John Beaudoin, Colin. You told me it was Brich when we first met. And that was like years ago. And then Colin just told me it's not Brich.
Yep. Should I correct you?
You should right now. Tell everybody for the record how to pronounce your last name.
I think, John, Nick said it Brich one day.
Yeah.
And me being who I am, I didn't go, no, Nick, that's wrong. I was like, just roll with it.
I
the
correct Nick all the time.
Listen, no one else.
I was too new in the aspect of, oh, cool, I'm doing this. I'm on a podcast. Awesome. He said it wrong, and I never corrected him.
You've been
and it's
on
been
like
funny
a dozen
ever
times.
since. And you say it wrong every time.
Is it Birch? No.
Yeah. How do we say your name?
The correct way of saying it is Brich.
Brich.
Be rich.
It's not hard to say, hey man, it's Brich.
I have heard Birch. I have heard Brick. I have heard another thing.
I feel like I did ask you once, and you were like, no, you're fine.
Yeah. That's okay, though.
The good part of this story, though, is it must be a Bridge Space thing. Colin is the community manager for Bridge Space, home of the Vault, home of John Beaudoin's office as well for KC Communications and Media Matters, the longest business name in the history of Lee Summit, Missouri. But the guy who owns Bridge Space also led me astray with his name when I first met Ben Rayo.
Wow.
I have on video. I have a recording of him telling me incorrectly how to say his name, and then like the next episode laughing about it.
Dang.
Those of us with 5 vowels in our last name can relate to that.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's a Bridge Space thing apparently to mislead people in their names.
We just lie about it.
I have a question since we're talking about this. Who says Budget Blinds now? Like Jason, you do the intro, and I kept hearing it. Do you still hear it in your head?
I do. I do. But that's
that's gone.
I think there's a term for that syndrome.
Maybe you could record him saying it and plug it in there.
When he returns, because he comes back every now and then for some episodes, he does yell it.
He does. Okay.
He does yell
okay.
It. And look, there were people. We had at least one listener whose 3-year-old would scream it out with him while they listened to the podcast.
Of course. Yeah, nice.
Man, we miss you, Betsy. We miss you in Lee Summit. You guys are here because there's a cool thing happening in support of one of our vital local nonprofits, Lee Summit Social Services. You guys came up with this idea. I was not here at Bridge Space. You came up with this idea. Food for Food. It's the Food for Food drive. It's happening December 9th, 11:30 to 1:30 at Bridge Space. Bring some food and get some food.
Yeah. We were eating food when Colin had this idea.
Whose
idea was it?
Originally my idea. Yeah, that's just like how John said. That was the initial thought of it would be perfect to not only celebrate ourselves here at Bridge Space, but to be able to give back to the community, which really need it right now for holiday season wise, but also just the pantry and things running out of funding. And so if we could get our resources pulled together for a whole bunch of the community and our people to come together to donate some food, a sack of food, if you will, or non-perishables, which is I consider 5 items.
Right.
I think that's fair. You bring that in, and then we're going to team up with El Plato, our neighbors from across the street here, and then they're going to be serving lunch. And you bring food.
You guys, but El Plato's my favorite neighbor. I'm just going to tell you.
Tacos. They're the best.
Nick may or may not be at El Plato once a week, and myself included.
Listen. Yeah. This podcast has almost a 10-year history of tacos are everything.
That's right. Yes. You've made that clear.
Gotta have tacos. So I think that's a great idea. Food for food. That's how it worked out, and I think it will work out. And we hope everybody can make it. It's nothing that you have to pay for besides just bringing in some food to help.
Well, what's interesting is when this idea came up and of course we're still feeling the reverberations of this government shutdown and time of need and things. We were thinking about, oh my God, how could we help a local organization during this time when everyone was flooding the food bank, and of course that hasn't gone away. Those needs are still there. People are still catching back up. There's still a tremendous need in and around Lee Summit for weekly groceries, for things in the pantry to get people through to Christmas, and that it made sense. And of course the need probably has only grown since you had the idea.
Absolutely. And if it might be small, maybe for us, but it's the least we can possibly do as a community. And there's a lot more I'm sure that can be done, but it's something I can act on and help out with here,
right?
In my role. And I got two great people who will promote it and put it out there as well. So
is that us? Oh,
we try.
For the people who did not, I did point.
Well, John, I'm a past member of the board of directors for social services.
Right.
You still do a lot of work for them on the social media and the advertising media relations side.
Right.
So you're really there. I mean, you talk to Megan Salerno, the executive director. You talk to her and people in that building all the time, probably 4 or 5 times a week.
Yes.
This is probably not fair of me, but what kind of are you hearing as far as need?
Well, I am there a couple times or more a week, and talking to folks up there multiple times a week just on what's the latest, and seeing the shelves. It's quite a thing to go through there, and sometimes you're in the warehouse and you see lots of, whether it's clothing donations or canned food and things like that, and you think, oh, there's plenty of stuff here, and then you walk back into the pantry area, and entire shelves are empty. Whether it's the peanut butter area or the staples, canned tuna, pasta sauce, canned fruits and vegetables, things like that, and you think, oh my gosh, that there's sometimes we have those times of need that come in that are so heavy that even when you intake 600 pounds of food from Rotary, or you talk about some of these neighborhoods, there's wonderful neighborhoods and HOAs doing these food drives, and what's great is that food comes in and it's leaving almost as fast as it comes in, because that need is so elevated right now, and so we try to do a lot on social media, say, hey, thank you to this organization, thank you to these businesses doing angel trees for the Christmas program, but specifically from a food standpoint, it's very much food in, food out. It's almost every day the ebbs and tides of what happens at the pantry, and I'm sure that goes for a lot of organizations that tackle food insecurity this time of year.
I think that's an important thing to remember is how fast they go through the food, and how that shows what the need is, because I just saw you yesterday or 2 days ago. You posted for them on their social media feed that there was, I think it was a neighborhood organization, dropped off like 2 van loads of stuff. And I don't think we realize, because we think of our own personal pantries, right? If I had a van load of food, how long is that lasting for me? Which a lot longer now, because I don't have a teenage boy at home anymore. But I don't think we realize that an organization like this that serves the whole broad community, how fast that stuff moves out there
quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, when Colin had, Colin's constantly thinking about the community of Brich Space, with the dozens and dozens of co-work people and the hundreds of people that have the mailboxes here, and how can we bring them here for something community wide? And it's not that you have to say, hey, we'll give you lunch if you bring in some canned food, but it's a way to gather people for a common cause, which I love, and if we can deliver some food to social services after that, all the better, right?
Yeah, I think that our original goal when we talked about it, of course, because it's gonna look sweet, is if we can fill that table that we have inside the event space,
the bowling alley table, which is really cool, because it literally is
bowling alley.
It literally is half a bowling alley.
Yeah, I mean that's just my personal goal, is to hopefully be able to see that full, because that's big. It's a big table. It would mean a lot, and it's minor, but it also, I think, will go a long way. And that's something that we did, and that's really cool.
I think that, we've talked about this a lot before. That one of the cool things about living in this community, working in this community, is a need is shown, people show up. I mean, we see it over and over every year at various times of the year that when a need is shown by one of these organizations, people show up and they give.
Right. And often I feel like they're more ready to give than we know that they are. It doesn't take a lot of prodding. It's not you don't see a lot of, oh my gosh, although we've had some nonprofits on the very edge, and thankfully we've been able to help bring them back into the fold of the community and make sure they're not going anywhere. But a lot of times I think people are right there at their front door. This is a metaphorical discussion right now, but I think people are right there at their door, near their phones, near their computers, whatever, ready to give. They just need to know where. What's the need right now? Who needs what in this community? And especially around Christmas time, we think of sometimes, again, we think of gifts, and we think of those kind of things. And for a long time, it hasn't been food, but lately it is. It's food. It's making sure that people, instead of having to make the decision about paying the electric bill or the water bill
or groceries,
we can take that off their plate. Okay, groceries are done. You're good. Pay your mortgage now. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Pay the rent. Right.
We shouldn't have to face those choices.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No. Or medical thing or whatever it is.
Whatever. Right.
Shoes. Anything. Yeah. Yeah.
Colin, this is just one of a number of things that Bridge Space does. I'm gonna give you a little chance to plug Bridge Space here.
Sure.
A little shameless plugging for yourself.
Love that.
But I think you offer special rates for so many different organizations to have board meetings here, to have other meetings or events or whatever.
Yeah.
This Food for Food drive is one of several things you've done. The festivals, Chili Fest. Please bring Chili Fest back.
Chili
Fest needs a resurgence. And
we need to bring Chili Fest back. Jazz Fest has been, but all of these things have been in support of different local nonprofits. Is it just something you're doing? Is it something you and Ben Rao, Rue, whatever, all the different fake names he's given people over the years?
Benny.
Actually sounds weird. I don't know if I can call him Benny.
Benny and the Jets.
Work for him for a couple of years.
Yeah, but I mean, is that intentional? All that kind of support?
Yeah, I mean, the intentional side is that we're benefiting someone who can then benefit off of having a room, for an access that they might not have had the opportunity to have access to. Or the cost of it is a little bit out of their budget for what they're needing. And so a discounted rate, for example, like how you were saying, our philanthropic boardroom, which is why we built the space, was to be able to give back to those organizations. And $20 gets you, a couple hours inside the space. And, that room normally runs out for $65 an hour. And you can rearrange it. You can make it a boardroom style. So these committees have a place to be. But, the inspiration, I think, been helping a lot of nonprofits early on and wanted to continue that trend. And he helps in so many other areas, but it's what his passion for it was kind of came to me in that aspect of, maybe it wasn't as much as what I listened to or like what I paid attention to. And now it's a big focus and it's something we can do.
Yeah. You were a lot nicer to your boss than I thought you were going to be.
He's listening, no.
Well, John, I think, and I want to give a little credit to you and your business. You've worked with a ton of different nonprofits around the community for a long time. I mean,
yep.
Back as publisher days for the now We Miss You Lee Summit Journal.
Pour one out for the Journal.
Yeah, but you've done that both as a volunteer,
right,
and as a professional. Where does that drive and that connection for you come from?
Yeah, it's because that the need in the community sometimes is right next door, and you don't know it's right next door. We don't sometimes we don't see the cars pull up from either One Good Meal or Meals on Wheels that are bringing our neighbors lunch, and sometimes we don't know who's going to the pantry, and we don't often know who's applied for assistance in the community. But by working with those organizations it's quite a bit of people, that it's our neighbors, it's our friends, it's people that we work with, it's people we go to church with, it's people we hang out in downtown with, because
Kids play sports with.
who your kids play sports with, all of it, because those organizations are here for a reason, and as we see those organizations have increased need, we know that more and more of our neighbors are having that need, and we also hear from people. What I like is we hear a lot of organizations, and I know social services specifically, is we hear from people who have used those services and were able to benefit from those services for whatever period of time, whether it's 3 months or 6 months or a year, and have said, hey, by the way, we're past that difficult point. Thank you. And sometimes we don't hear that from them, and we don't have to during that time. But sometimes we hear that later, that I was able to use this service, and it helped me out of a jam, and it helped me pay for stuff for my kids or pay the water bill and things like that, because we had groceries, we had the things that we needed. I was able to get diapers, I was able to get formula from this organization, and we know that because we see those things happen sometimes months or years after they happen. But it's great to see, and those people are still in the community, and then we see those people come back and give. We've had donations at social services where we've seen come through online and said, you helped me in 2018 and I'm helping you now, which is amazing, because you don't expect sometimes to see that come back around, and it does in this community a lot.
I think that's really key.
Yeah.
There, that's a big thing to remember. And go back to what you said earlier too. Is like we just don't know, and we don't need to know.
No.
We don't need to know the specifics of who it is. But I think to have the understanding that these are people from all over the community. They're everybody's neighbors,
right?
And you see them in so many things. So one more time, the Food for Food Drive, December 9th, 11:30 to 1:30 p.m. Bring a bag of non-perishables, and we'll give you food in return. It's tacos from El Plato. I don't know how you complain.
The big shout out should be El Plato, right?
El Plato.
I mean, they're providing everything that day.
They're providing everything.
Yeah.
We've been able to be such good neighbors with them, and they've been at Jazz Festival. They've been a part of things that we've done before, and to have them across the street and have them be part of this lunch, I mean, that's awesome.
I think that's another thing that people probably don't realize, that businesses like El Plato
they want to connect.
Are involved in so many of these kind of things.
Yes.
I mean, we're going to specifically point them out this time because they are the ones involved. They're going to feed us all as we bring our stuff to support, but there are lots of businesses like that.
How many tacos can I have? I didn't want to ask, but
I think
a good lunch. Like what is it? 2 to 3 tacos is fair.
33. That's
2 to 3.
Oh, 2 to 3. I'm sorry.
No, Freddie and Alexa, they're gonna help us out.
I love that. Yeah. They're really good neighbors.
They are great neighbors. I see them get involved in so many things like that. So a big thank you, a big shout out to El Plato. December 9th, 11:30 to 1:30 at Brich Space in downtown Lee Summit. That's 210 Southwest Market Street.
That's right.
Grab your food. Put them in a bag.
Grab your food. Put it in a bag. Fill up the table.
Help us help people.
Yeah.
There we go. Colin, John, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Nick.
That'll wrap us up for this episode. We'll talk to everybody next time.